Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast, where we discuss what's happening in the cryptosphere and trading on earth as it is in heaven. Buckle up and huddle on while we dive in and get weird. Here are your hosts, Joshua and Kim.
Happy Monday, everybody.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome to another weekend wrap up. Although this weekend was a little bit more comforting for most crypto investors.
It's true. I have to tell you, I didn't say this on the episode last week, and this is the problem with Josh and I actually being friends, is that we talk about this stuff in normal conversation as well. But I was telling him last week that I really thought Bitcoin was going to get back to 41. And it did this weekend. And I was so happy to see it. And then even more happy to see that it was maintained.
Yeah.
And even it went a bit more than that. I mean, right now it's sitting at what, 44?
44, 115.
Right. When it had been kind of hanging in the 38, 39 range. So that's my big hip hip hooray from this weekend. Was I was just so happy to see Bitcoin get back to 41 and stay there.
I was pretty encouraged because it hit 41, looks like maybe Friday evening is when it hit 41, and it set pretty much still for all of Saturday, all of Sunday. And then Sunday night it started taking off again, and now we're sitting at 44 and a half or 44, and will be pretty interesting to see if it hangs out here or kind of, maybe what it does. But I mean, 24 hours we're up 5.7%, 7 days we're up 16%. Like, it's not looking too bad.
It's not looking too bad. I'm hoping this is a corner that we've turned. We had the one really, really, really low week. And that we'll see things kind of steady out a bit, I don't know, going forward. Even if it's not a lot of gains. Like, I know everyone's always looking for all the gains. Like, people are in crypto because it's so volatile and things will go way up and things will go way down. But I'm hoping that it doesn't have to be big for me. I am just happy with it kind of sticking in this area. Going up would be great. I hope it doesn't dip that back down.
Well, we've had a relatively consistent downtrend since early November. And my hope for this particular move is that it is a turning of a corner, that, that the market has dealt with some of that stuff and is now going to, some of the fear that I think has been sitting in the market, maybe that fear has subsided, or it's just gotten restless enough that people are like, we need to do something, we need to make a move, and now it's moving.
Yeah.
So my hope is that, just like you said, this is a sustained, I don't care if it shoots straight up, but a sustained change in market trend. That's my hope for it. And it's, we've talked about this a lot, how our opinion is that Bitcoin truly carries the market.
Yeah.
And you've really seen that. I mean, once Bitcoin kind of changed its direction, everything else has been picking up, and in some cases exponentially picking up. I mean, we were just talking right before we started recording about, the meme coins, and Shibu's up 53% over where it was a week ago. I mean, that's drastic.
It is drastic. However, long term, still down from
an all-time high.
Where did it peak? In October? Early November?
Yeah, let me look real quick. It peaked October 27th.
Oh, that's a good day. It's my dad's birthday.
Hey, look at that.
It's also my father-in-law's birthday. It's kind of an easy date to remember in our family.
It would be. It is still quite down from its all-time high, but I mean, it's really, I mean, compared to some of the other meme coins, like Doge is up, but Doge is up 22%. I mean,
Mhm.
that's more than double the movement. And I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I right before we started this episode, we were kind of looking a little bit at Shiba versus Doge. And I'm looking forward to the day, and there will probably be people who hate me for saying this. I'm looking forward to the day where Shiba overtakes Doge
Yeah.
in the market cap charts. I I'm impressed with how much Shiba has risen through the ranks to begin with. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was like June, July when you just started hearing a little bit about it before it really started taking off, but it just took a few months and it climbed up there. It's sitting at number 13 in market cap now. Doja is at 11. They're not really that far apart. We're talking in billions, but they're $4 billion apart in market cap, which isn't actually that much um, in these markets. So yeah,
Right.
we'll
So,
talk about it again when Shiba overtakes Doge. But
so what do you think with the new baby Dogecoin, which I did a little bit of reading on, and it's not made by the same people, but it's made of fans of Doge who were hoping to fix some of the issues that Doge has and make a better version of it. And now you have Elon tweeting about this one instead of Doge. I'm wondering if it will lead in the demise of Doge as we've known it and the rise of the baby Doge.
maybe, I don't know. Okay, to be quite honest, I didn't know that there were problems with Doge's workability or whatever functionality, because
Mhm.
as far as I knew, it was just a meme coin. It was popular because it's popular and people like it.
Right.
So what is there to fix in popularity? I don't know. Obviously there's something, otherwise they wouldn't be saying this. Um and I also think if Elon is saying it, at this point, he kind of has the Midas touch with crypto. It's just because he has so much influence.
Right.
Let me just say this, he has a lot of influence. I also respect the heck out of this guy. We were also talking last week in one of our side conversations, and I gave Josh my top 3 crypto influencers at the moment.
Yes.
And Elon leads the pack for me. He is number 1. My number 2, maybe I will go through this list. My number 2 is Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador. Okay, if you haven't seen some of the stuff that he has tweeted out defending his stance with Bitcoin, you need to look it up,
Yeah.
because he is bold and he is unapologetic and he is innovating, and I love it. So he's my number 2. Number 3 is Jack Dorsey, former CEO of Twitter, the CEO of what is now
Block.
Block, used to be Square. I also have to wonder if the name change has to do with his um,
Movement in the blockchain.
avid belief in the blockchain.
I have to believe it's somehow connected.
Yeah,
This may be public information. I've not actually looked, but
me neither.
I just have to believe that there is some connection with his belief in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and DeFi markets, that somehow that change in name is associated. It's not far off from Square. I mean, it's
I know.
basically the same shape,
It's
just
in another dimension though.
right. It is. Yeah.
Anyway, those are my top 3, but number 1 is still Elon, and pretty much anything he says moves markets, it
It
seems.
does.
So I wouldn't be surprised if baby Doge really started taking off, started making some moves, climbed through the ranks. I don't know, but I also don't know enough about it. I just know of the emergence of it.
Yeah. I remember there was a Twitter exchange um, where somebody was asking the creator of Dogecoin about, when they were building Dogecoin, what were their thoughts on sustainability and energy consumption and all this stuff. And the guy was like, bro, I made it in a couple hours in my dorm room because I thought it was funny. And he's like, I wasn't thinking at all about the future. And it's become so popular that now some of these questions that maybe you would have approached if you were building a coin for legitimacy
Mm.
or for everyday use, you may have addressed some of those points. But when you were just building something for the fun of it, just making a meme, like he didn't expect
Right.
it to blow up. If he
Well,
did, he would have kept his Doge going.
true. Well, maybe this is the need. This is the reason why there's a need for a baby Doge, for something
Mm,
to address some of the gaps, I suppose, that Doge might
right.
have, especially coming from Elon, because Tesla accepts Doge as payment.
True.
And so if it is in fact coming forth with some issues in this payment process, maybe it's necessary. Maybe it
Yeah,
does have more utility than I know of anyway.
it's true. But yeah, so meme coins have definitely been skyrocketing, but honestly, every sector is just doing really well right now. It's it's a beautiful thing to see, especially if you were brave enough to continue buying the dips.
Right.
You maybe are seeing some rewards for it.
This is true.
Yes.
I have to talk about this. I was going to talk about this before our episode, and I was like, no, I'll just wait. So I was looking at, as you know, one of my favorite pages to look at on CoinGecko, which is the global charts. And I was looking at the top 10 high volume for the last 24 hours. And there's this coin that is number 8, ZBG token. I've never heard of it. It is ranked 1,221 out of 4,500 coins. It has a market cap of $9.7 million, but the 24-hour trading volume is $2.2 billion.
Really?
And all I can think is, what the heck is going on with this token? I've never heard of it. Its current price right now is 1.949 cents. It is only up 7.2% in the last 24 hours. So I'm just like, what do people know that I don't know? What's happening with this? Is this
Right?
some new technology that we need to be looking out for? What is happening?
I wonder if it's I'm wondering if maybe it's just an error in the like percentage numbers. I mean, if it really is only up 7% in 24 hours, but has a 2 billion 24-hour trading volume, like something seems off, right? Like,
Yes, this is why I'm looking at and I'm like, what is happening? And now it makes me want to watch this coin and
right?
see what it does. That doesn't mean I'm investing in it, but I certainly want to keep an eye on it and I want to
Yeah.
see what it's doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth adding to your watch list for sure.
Absolutely.
Interesting. And it's cheap enough that, you could YOLO some cash out there.
Speaking of that, let me just tell you, last week I was talking to my grandmother's caregiver, um, whom I love, by the way. She just is this wonderful woman, and we have all kinds of great conversations. But she was asking me, something came up about crypto, and she didn't know that I was trading in crypto, that I have a podcast about crypto, that we have a whole business centered around crypto.
Right.
And so we were just kind of talking about it. She's like, I don't even understand it. What is it? Tell me more about it. And so I did. And she's like, I wouldn't even know how to get into it. And I told her, I said, and this would be a recommendation I would give to anyone who is just curious about it and kind of wants to dabble. I said, hey, if you want to kind of check it out and see what's up with it and stick your toe in to see if the water's fine, just take some money that you would otherwise use for some other entertainment something. So like she buys lotto tickets. So she said, oh, I took the $20 I was going to buy at a scratch off and put it in Bitcoin and Ethereum instead. But she did it. She just told me today that she, over the weekend, she bought like $10 in one and $10 in another, and has been watching it, and she's getting really interested. And I just love seeing that. It's like the interest is there. And again, I don't think it has to be, we talk about trading and some of the technical stuff. And honestly, we don't even get that technical about anything, but it's something that's available to everybody. And it really is very accessible. And you don't have to bet the whole farm on anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any foreknowledge of anything. But if you want to get in and see what's happening, it's easy to do so, and kind of see how money can start working in different ways than it has all your life. And I don't know. I know that's not that exciting, but I was really pleased to hear that from her, because we only had a conversation. I didn't say you should this, and this. There was never any of that. But her interest was piqued enough, and she's been hearing about it in the news, all of these things, and she just decided to do it on her own. And I love that.
Yeah. I think there's this like shroud of mystery around cryptocurrency, and it's just not that complicated.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. I think people overcomplicate it because it's a new word, it's a relatively new product, and it's all digital, and sometimes people have a hard time wrapping their mind around that. Like, oh, how do I do this? But it's so easy, and most of the big exchanges have made it so easy. I was helping someone with Coinbase the other day, and they logged in, they created their account. I think they uploaded their ID, then they linked their PayPal and were immediately able to do a trade. And it was just like this, it doesn't, when I first was signing up, sometimes like I'm pretty sure my Binance USA took like weeks, like three,
It took
four,
me
5 weeks.
6 months to get verified on Binance.
Yeah. I mean, it took time, but now it's just like, oh, it's just simple. You do this, you do this. It has gained so much popularity, and they've just made the process so simple for you. You can get as technical as you want to get. And I kind of see this as being like, I hate the Robinhood app, but a little bit inspired by Robinhood, where they made investing in stocks simple and accessible to people who didn't know what they were doing. Right. They just made the process easy. They made it user friendly. And now we're seeing that same thing happen in crypto, where the process is just easy. And if you want to put in $10, $15, like, you can do it. It doesn't, you don't have to have thousands of dollars to start investing. You can start investing today with your lotto money.
Exactly. So this is something that I have found in talking to lots of people about this. And I know, Josh, you've been in on conversations, some of the same ones as me and some on your own. A lot of people don't know that in order to trade cryptocurrency, you don't have to buy like a whole coin.
Right.
So in order to get in on Bitcoin, you don't have to spend the $44,000 that it is currently listed at right now. You can spend any portion of that to get any small part of a Bitcoin. I know that here's one of those crypto terms that we're going to throw out. And I don't know the exact definition, but a Satoshi is a portion of a Bitcoin.
It's the smallest portion of a Bitcoin.
So it's like less than cents are to dollars, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what percentage it is. Do you? We could find it quickly.
It's the smallest portion, and I can't remember if it's a thousandth or 10,000th of a. I think it's 10,000th of a Bitcoin.
It says each Bitcoin is equal to 100 million Satoshis.
There you go.
That's a lot. Anyway, you could go buy a Satoshi. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, it truly is simple. And that was part of the entire plan when Bitcoin was created, is they knew by having a limited amount, they knew that by capping the total number of Bitcoin, that they were going to run into eventually people not being able to have a whole one. But if you break it out to 100 million pieces, then it's a bit like you can have a dollar, you can have a quarter, you can have a dime. Like it's a bit like that, except for exponential.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, I just think it's accessible.
Yeah, it really is.
And it doesn't have to be as complicated as we might want to make it.
Right. Exactly. Simple.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I have a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I just have a lot to talk about today. So number one, that same caregiver, I was with her and my grandmother today. And on the news, there was a story this is why she wound up telling me that she bought crypto over the weekend, about a couple who is in foreclosure of their house. They made NFTs, sold them, and within 2 hours made over $150,000 to get their house out of foreclosure. This was in January. And I'm not looking at a news story right now. I'm just telling you what I saw on the news.
Mm-hmm.
It was these simple NFTs that were ducks. And they just put out a series and they listed them and they sold them. And voila, they still have a home to live in.
Isn't that wild?
It's wild. And on the same note, okay, so same topic. Just yesterday, I was sitting with my 15-year-old son on the couch. And he said, Mom, you know what I think is the stupidest thing ever? NFTs. I was like, what? How do you think this? Because I am actually quite a proponent for NFTs.
Right.
And he's like, I just think they're useless. They have no use at all. I don't know why anyone would ever invest in them. I don't know why anyone would ever want them, all of this. And I was like, okay, so his name is
Better not
Henry.
tell him where his college fund went.
I know. So I was like, Henry, do you still buy like skins and extra different weapons and stuff on your Xbox when you play? He goes, oh yeah, I have a bunch of that. I was like, ha, you own NFTs. He was mind blown. He's like, oh, well, maybe I do like NFTs then. And what I love about it is just along the same lines of like demystifying buying cryptocurrency. I think NFTs are in this place where they're this mysterious thing, but people don't know that they're probably already using them.
Yeah, or precursors to them.
For sure. Yeah. My 5-year-old daughter, she likes to play Roblox, and she has gotten in the past, she bought like $5 worth of Robux, which is the native token for the Roblox game.
I was going to say, that's just a cryptocurrency before.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it is. But the whole thing is they just don't get traded on exchanges. They get traded only in the game. Yeah. But you can either buy it in the App Store and then load it into the game. You can go buy a gift card at the grocery store and then go load it into the game. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And so here's my 5-year-old daughter, and she owns NFTs. They're just not held in a wallet.
Right.
But she went and bought like whatever, the new hairdo or whatever she wanted for her avatar. But there we are. So we start these kids early and they don't even know they're doing it. Most parents don't even know that their kids have NFTs. Most people who are gaming probably don't even know that they have NFTs.
Yeah. I mean, it really is an extremely similar comparison, and especially as games move towards a metaverse type platform, those same things that they're buying with Roblox or whatever, Robux, will be purchased with, could be purchased with Bitcoin or whatever the native token for that game is.
Right.
And I mean, it'll be like pretty soon, those things will reside on a blockchain instead of on the game manufacturer's server. It'll
It's
be,
true.
I mean, that is just one step prior to where we're going. And it's
It's,
wildly popular. It
it
has made
is.
like, Fortnite, Call of Duty, all those games. I mean, down to Roblox, man, I can't say that word. Um, but like every game, I mean, even little games you play on your phone now you buy their
In-app
native
purchases.
tokens,
Right.
and in-app purchases have made games billions of dollars as an industry. And it's really just, I mean, we're really just talking about what led up to NFTs. And soon, I think that's why people are so confused about how does someone make a duck NFT and make enough to stay out of foreclosure? But they're like, I just don't see the point in it. Well, most people don't see the point in spending 99 cents for these little microtransactions and all the games they play. But those companies are making millions and millions of dollars off of it. I mean, we're just talking about the same thing. You may be spending your NFT money on a hairdo for your avatar, or you may be spending it on a picture of a duck. It doesn't really matter, but
It's still an NFT.
yeah,
It's a piece of something that you own in this region of this code in which you're participating,
yeah,
right? That's essentially what an NFT is.
right.
I don't know, it's just wild. But I love seeing it, and it's really interesting to kind of illuminate the stuff that's already happening. One of the things that Josh and I have in common is we have both played these games like homescapes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just outing you in the public
Thanks.
right now.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I'm not proud of this, I will say that I have spent money in that game.
Oh, I've
Like
I
I
have
run
spent
out
money.
of lives, I run out of the tokens to be able to do whatever, get to the next level or something. I can't beat
Mm-hmm.
this level, so I need something extra. So I spend the 99 cents. But when I'm doing that and I'm buying the stars or the tokens or the hearts, the lives in the
Mm-hmm.
game, I am basically dealing in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
And then if I happen to spend money, which I have not done this, maybe my time's coming, I don't know. If I spend the extra money to get the pretty Easter dress, I don't know,
Right.
whatever might be available at that moment that is extra and bonus and only available now for
Mm-hmm.
this small fee, that's an NFT.
It
But
is.
it just isn't, um the verbiage isn't there. It's
Right.
not
And it doesn't
used there.
reside on the blockchain, which is
That's okay, that's
which is
true too.
probably the biggest difference, but it is in essence the same thing.
And I feel like it's a gateway into this.
Yeah, it's the microtransactions in app games are the gateway drug to NFTs.
Oh, it's true. I also hear people talking about how, oh, the metaverse is so horrible and all the things. I'm not a huge proponent of the metaverse. I just think it's inevitable.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm not fighting it. That's not to say that I will be living 24 hours a day in the metaverse.
Right.
But there are things that have been conditioning us to be able to function this way forever. I will tell you, one of the first video games I ever had on a computer was SimCity.
Mm,
Remember way back when, I mean,
yeah.
this is like grade school for me,
Mhm.
but you build your little cities and then you function there and you do the tasks and everything.
Yeah.
Games have evolved, but we've kind of been conditioned for this for a long time.
Yeah. I think anyone who has played games for any amount of time will tell you that the metaverse or games residing in the metaverse, it's really just it's a natural progression. It's not some new crazy thing. I mean, one of the games that I've recently been playing is called Elder Scrolls Online, and it's a massive world where you're playing with lots of other real people, and you have your outfits and you have your like animals that you can ride. You can buy different outfits for your animals. You can buy different weapons. You can buy different maps so that within the big map, you can go to these new places as they add them. I mean, that truly is a metaverse. That is a digital world that you are participating in. It has its own native currency. It has like all of this stuff. I mean, that truly is a metaverse. We just weren't using that verbiage. And the metaverse will be just a natural evolution of the gaming that we've had forever.
Absolutely. And I think it's more of a merging too of, I think I could be really wrong on this. The image that I get, the impression I get from all of the talk of metaverse is kind of the blending of real life, like your real life with kind of gaming
Yeah.
life.
Mhm.
And I think that will be interesting to see how that can play out,
Yeah.
good and bad, honestly.
Well,
Obviously, you can kind of foresee that it can have some really bad um, uses and
right.
some dire consequences, but I also think there could be some really good connection that can happen through this, and there
Mhm.
can be a lot of life given
Yeah.
through
You and
that.
I have talked about this a bit, but the metaverse is currently being constructed. And as it's being constructed, it can be constructed for beneficial things and it can be constructed for destructive things. Those are all options. It just depends on who decides to step in as creators and build the metaverse. You know,
Yeah.
how's it going to be used? Are we going to leave it up to people who have their own intents? Are we going to leave it up to people who truly just want to build a fun place to hang out and do creative things? I mean, either one's possible.
Yeah. And probably both will be reality.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just depends which one you focus on.
Truth. Very true. Look at this. This was just a wide range of stuff we talked about today.
We covered the gambit. We talked about Bitcoin to baby Doge to NFTs, the metaverse. We covered it all today. It's going
Welcome
to
to
be
what our
hard to,
conversations really sound like.
yeah, it's going to be hard to title this episode because it's really just the ramblings of Josh and Kim's minds.
It's true.
But
It's kind of focused on crypto.
oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, most 90% of
90%
our
of ours.
conversations are or on wine,
See,
you know.
it is 90% crypto with us, 10% wine.
Yeah.
I know you want to be our friend. Just reach out.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll catch you on Thursday.
Thank you for listening. Join us every Monday and Thursday as we discuss trading on earth as it is in heaven. If you want to connect further, follow us on social media at market.mystics for Instagram and TikTok, and search for Market Mystics on YouTube and Facebook. If you still need more, follow the link on Facebook to book a coaching appointment. Until next time, see ya.